I'd been chasing Ethan for 5 years. When both his first love and I got kidnapped, he chose her. The kidnapper, watching from the side, suddenly laughed, leaning down to whisper in my ear, "Say you like me, and I'll kill them both for you." Ethan was my target. I'd spent 5 whole years trying to win his heart, and just one day before our engagement, both his first love and I were kidnapped. We sat on the warehouse floor, staring at each other awkwardly. Sophia was crying like a broken-hearted angel, her eyes red like a little rabbit's, absolutely pitiful to look at. 2 of the kidnappers beside me were playing cards. The skinny one was so bad at it that I wanted to reach over and play his hand for him. When I saw him about to make another terrible move, I spat out the cloth gag, "Straight flush." The skinny guy complimented my card skills, then picked up the dirty rag and stuffed it back in my mouth. "I should knock your minf." I tried to curse as he gagged me again. Right then, Ethan arrived. Ethan frowned as he looked between Sophia and me. But I felt like he looked at Sophia first. When Ethan saw the skinny kidnapper shoving the dirty cloth in my mouth, he said, "Don't touch her. Whatever money you want, I'll pay." I was so moved I started making muffled crying sounds. Maybe I was being too loud, because the skinny guy seemed to press harder, and he even woke up the boss. The boss had quite the nerve sleeping on the back couch during such a tense moment. Probably woken by my wailing, he slowly sat up. He wore a smiley face mask, but I could clearly feel his terrifying morning grumpiness. The boss rested his hand on the couch backrest, pointing a lazy finger at me. Then I heard his drawling voice, "Cut out her tongue." I was stunned. This guy wasn't following the script at all. Wasn't he supposed to negotiate first? How could he start with violence right away? What if he hurt the other guy's precious darling and couldn't get his money? The skinny guy smiled like a villain, walking toward me with a small knife, acting all casual about it. Just as he grabbed my chin, Ethan shouted, "Stop! What do you think you're doing? Let Victoria go." Me, what a good man. I love you forever and ever. The boss chuckled softly, playing with the dagger in his hands, discussing murder as casually as slicing vegetables. "Oh, really? 2 people. You choose one." Ethan looked between his first love and me, falling silent. My heart sank. Ethan glanced at me apologetically, as if saying, "Sorry, I choose Sophia." Me, "Screw you. You bastard. Go to hell." The skinny guy slashed the ropes with a flourish, and Sophia stumbled crying into Ethan's arms. And Ethan caught her with a heartbroken expression. The skinny guy grinned like an ant watching drama, pulling the dirty cloth from my mouth and asking, "Awkward much?" I closed my eyes. "Just make it quick." "Men are all trash." The boss sat on the couch, giving off major game master vibes like he was in complete control. He leaned forward slightly, arms resting on his knees. Even more infuriating, though he wore a mask, I could tell he was definitely enjoying the show. Seeing me curse and rant, he suddenly laughed, not convinced. "Me, give me that knife and let me stab you once. Then, well, see if you're convinced." He laughed even harder. Meanwhile, that disgusting couple had already started reminiscing about their past while clinging to each other. "You should have said so earlier." If I'd known Ethan was such a hard nut to crack, I would have switched targets ages ago. But the boss seemed to read my mind. He suddenly stood up, walked over to me, and bent down, lifting my chin with his finger. With a soft laugh, he leaned down to whisper, "Say you like me, and I'll kill them both for you." Now that's what I call a deal. I didn't hide the joy on my face, pointing at them. Do it! Kill them both! All of you can just die. Die, die, die. Skinny kidnapper boss. This girl really can't hide anything, can she? The boss tilted his head and whistled. Ethan and Sophia both looked over. The boss cocked his head with a mischievous expression. Oh, I forgot to mention something. When I said choose one, I meant choose one to die. Ethan's face instantly went pale, and I couldn't suppress my obvious glee. Sophia's legs gave out and she collapsed into Ethan's arms. I couldn't help myself. Hey, you two should at least read the room. Ethan is my fiancé, you homewrecker. Sophia shook her head helplessly. Ethan, I don't want to die. Damn, she was good at this. I looked at the boss, hesitantly, and tried acting cute big brother. I don't want to die either. Both the skinny and fat kidnappers made gagging sounds. But I felt like under that mask, the boss was smiling. Ethan looked at the boss as if making a carefully considered decision. I'll give you 200 million. Let Sophia go. I felt insulted. What about me? Wasn't I even worth $2 just now? Boss deal. Me? What happened to killing those two jerks for me? The skinny guy untied my ropes since Ethan had chosen to abandon me, which ironically meant choosing me to live. I stood up huffily, my face dark as thunder. Just as I was about to leave, I felt someone's hand on my shoulder, pressing down so I couldn't move. Up close, I could see the boss's eyes under his mask. Dark and deep, a pair of devastatingly beautiful eyes. He lifted me up and threw me over his shoulder. With a light scoff, 200 million plus her. I want both. Ethan's frown deepened. But I knew he definitely thought I wasn't worth it. This boss was pretty smart, though. In just a few sentences, had figured out who Ethan really cared about and easily scored 200 million. So in the car afterward, I immediately begged for mercy. Please let me go. You got the money, and I'm not worth anything. The boss rested his chin on his hand, looking at me with interest. At least you know yourself. Seeing he had no intention of letting me go, I finally just gave up. Then just kill me quickly. That bastard doesn't want me anyway. The kidnapper suddenly reached up and removed his mask and voice changer. A deep, rich voice that made me tingle all over. Then come with me. I'm known for treating people well. My jaw dropped. The kidnapper was actually Ethan's brother. Adrian. Adrian was Ethan's brother. The illegitimate son of the Cole family. Usually when I saw him, he'd greet me politely, calling me big sister in the sweetest, most innocent way. Sunny smile, obedient as could be. The only thing that surprised me was that he had such a deep voice. When he got close and called big sister, it could make your eardrums tingle. He looked harmless on the surface, but secretly he was a bad boy who kidnapped people and committed arson. I was confused. Me, Adrian, why did you get into kidnapping of all things? And extorting so much money from your brother? Adrian raised an eyebrow. You still feel sorry for him? Me, not really. You should have told me earlier. If we'd worked together, we probably could have extorted even more money from him. Adrian was taking off his jacket, smirking. With that face of yours, you can't hide finding a nickel on the ground. The car stopped at a dump, and the skinny guy threw all the kidnapping equipment into the trash. Then the car drove off again. Me so. Where are you taking me now? As the car entered a tunnel, in the dark environment, Adrian's innocent face suddenly became unfathomable. He said slowly, "To eliminate witnesses." I shivered. He really was going to kill me? My voice was already shaky with tears. "Please don't kill me. I absolutely won't tell anyone about today." I covered my eyes. "Nothing happened today. I didn't see your face. I didn't hear what you said." Trust is the ladder of human progress, right? Violence is bad. We should use gentle policies instead. The skinny guy seemed to get out of the car first. "Adrian, I can't take it anymore. She talks too much." The car immediately became quiet. I quickly shut my mouth, afraid that if I really annoyed him, he'd finish me off. After all, in this world it'd been transported to all kinds of ridiculous people and situations existed. I covered my eyes but could hear his breathing. "Done talking?" Adrian's voice was even more alluring in this enclosed space. I shook my head, but I didn't dare move, not knowing if he'd really stab me. He laughed. I felt a pain on my lips. Adrian had actually leaned down and bitten me. Along with the lingering resonance of his deep voice, his tone carried blatant seduction and flirtation, perfect timing. I don't like violence either. As for the interest on not killing you, I'll collect that next time. Big sister. Then there was silence in the car. I didn't dare put my hands down for a long while. No target to pursue, sold out by someone, didn't get a penny of that 200 million. The more I thought about it, the sadder I got, and I couldn't help crying loudly. After I finished crying and was about to get out of the car, the skinny guy bent down into the driver's seat, giving me a complex look through the rearview mirror. "You look so gentle and weak, but when you cry, you sound like a pig being slaughtered." Then he muttered quietly, "I don't know what Adrian sees in you that he'd have me drive you home." I cried even harder. The skinny guy drove me home. To the Cole house. I was full of questions, and just as I steadied myself and turned around, the skinny guy drove off without a trace. There was no one at the front gate. I walked to the entrance feeling dirty and heartbroken. Just as I was about to call for someone, I heard voices inside. "Ethan, uncle, please stay calm. I've already figured out a way to rescue her. Victoria will definitely be fine." My dad's voice was loud. He was frantic. "Ethan, what exactly do the kidnappers want? Is it money? However much they want, well, pay. We're not short on cash." After all, the Cole family was wealthy, and my family wasn't poor either. But Ethan's cruelty far exceeded my imagination. He said the kidnappers want 500 million. Holy crap! So Ethan was charging my dad double the 200 million ransom he'd paid for Sophia? My dad'll have my secretary transfer the money right away. I was so angry my hands were shaking. You can mess with me, but mess with my money? That's where I draw the line. Just as I was about to jump in and tear apart this man's hypocritical facade, something even more outrageous happened. My dad suddenly remembered tomorrow's engagement party then. Should we cancel tomorrow's engagement party for now? This is such a critical moment. Ethan, uncle, there's no need to cancel. The kidnappers only want money. I confirmed on the way here that Victoria is safe. If we cancel the engagement party at this moment, the media will sensationalize it, which will affect both our company's stock prices. My dad was torn. After all, in this world it'd been transported to, my mom had been killed during a kidnapping after someone called the police. This was my dad's greatest taboo and fear. Usually a cunning fox in business, he was completely panicked about this kind of situation and followed Ethan's lead. "So what do you think we should do?" Ethan's voice came slowly, as if after serious consideration. "Uncle, I have a friend named Sophia who's very similar to Victoria in build and features. I was thinking, tomorrow we could have her stand in for Victoria at the engagement ceremony. But don't worry, when Victoria comes back, it'll give her an even more grand and magnificent wedding." I threw up. Literally threw up. I'd been hungry all morning after the kidnapping and hadn't eaten breakfast. The fat kidnapper had fed me 3 churros, a cup of milk, and 3 buns because I was making too much noise. I could have eaten more, but the skinny guy stopped him, cursing that if he kept feeding me, he'd develop feelings. Getting nauseated by Ethan was quite an accomplishment. I could hear his calculator working from this distance. Sophia really did look a lot like me, probably just a cliché of these cheesy novels. I didn't want this either. I was just a stand-in. His calculations were really something. These two planned to put on a fake show tomorrow, since they didn't know if I was dead or alive anyway. If I died, they could just make their fake relationship real during this charade. What a loss. I was furiously about to kick open the door when I felt a sharp pain at the back of my neck. Before I passed out, I thought I saw Sophia. When I opened my eyes again, I was tied up once more. After my 3-part greeting to their ancestors, the person driving wearing a hat, mask, and fully disguised spoke, "You really are noisy. No wonder Ethan doesn't want you." It really was Sophia. I calmed my urge to pounce and bite her to death. "So what do you want?" "Sophia, sorry, but you can't appear tomorrow." "Me, so you two can pull your switch, put on a fake show?" "Sophia, sorry, Ethan and I are true love." Damn it, if it's true love, then why drag me into this? "And you want to use my dad to fill the 200 million ransom gap? And double it?" I struggled, trying to pounce and bite her to death. Sophia nervously pulled out a syringe from her bag, looking scared but injecting my neck with precise accuracy. "Sorry, Victoria. Once tonight is over and Ethan gets that 500 million, from now on, well, leave each other alone." As I graciously and considerately cursed her out, I gradually lost consciousness. When I opened my eyes, I was lying on a man's bed. This familiar plot. Klitsch set up. If I wasn't mistaken, the man showering in the bathroom was Adrian. And this was Adrian's villa. What was suffocating was that the living room and outdoor pool were hosting a party. It'd been stripped down to my underwear and thrown under the covers. Sophia must have switched me with some beauty who was supposed to hook up with Adrian tonight. Her purpose was obvious. If I had a compromising relationship with Adrian, then Ethan would have a legitimate reason to break up with me. And that 500 million would already be in his hands. Truly, leaving me with neither money nor dignity. Damn! That evil woman and that bastard! Just as I was about to crawl out of bed, someone knocked on the door. "Hey, Adrian, going to bed so early with a shower?" The guys outside laughed wickedly. "Can't hold back anymore?" The bathroom door opened, and before I could see anyone, I heard his voice. A lazy, magnetic, deep voice with moisture and magnetism. Scram if you know what's good for you. The people outside left, and I heard footsteps, then the automatic curtains closing, then Adrian saying, "Your toes are showing." If this wasn't embarrassing enough to kill me, what was? I curled up my toes, trying to pretend I hadn't heard him. But Adrian's voice was obviously closer now. While I was still thinking of how to explain why I was here, he spoke. Ready? Big sister. I got goosebumps instantly. He knew it was me? I bounced up from the bed, looking at him warily. After one glance, I turned away with a red face. Could you please put some clothes on? Oh my God, those perfect abs and that vlinoise. This something I could see for free? Thinking about that bastard Ethan, after 5 years he's still dressed conservatively at night, afraid of showing any skin that might taint me. His noble excuse was for your reputation. I don't want to touch you before marriage. Turns out he just found me disgusting. Wah, being a transmigrator was so pathetic. Adrian seemed to do it on purpose, his bathrobe hanging loosely on his body, and with a flick of his wrist he tossed it aside. Those pitch-black eyes stared at me. Every step carried intense aggression. Adrian leaned down, long night ahead. Can you sleep? I stuttered, what do you want to do? I said, I'd collect interest when I let you go. I gulped and nodded unconsciously. Then we spent the whole night playing cards in the room. Bomb! I arrogantly threw down my pair of kings, reaching out to Adrian, pay up. Adrian sat cross-legged across from me, his hair messy, looking like an obedient golden retriever at the moment. He seemed very agreeable right now. I took the opportunity to say, little brother, how about you let me go? Or could you lend me your phone? Adrian's hands didn't pause as he shuffled the cards, the playing cards forming beautiful arcs in his hands. He smiled, no can do. Keeping you for one night nets me 100 million. Pretty sweet deal. Oh my God, what kind of person was he? A terrifying thought began forming in my head. Was he working with Sophia? I scooted backward. Adrian, are you working with Sophia? Adrian laughed so hard his shoulders shook. Monkey was right, you really can't hide anything. Feeling insulted again, I immediately darkened my expression and stood to leave. Then I'm going to tell Ethan about you pretending to be a kidnapper and extorting him. Adrian reached out and pulled me back, and I rolled into his arms along with the blanket. Want to leave? Adrian raised an eyebrow, and with a light flick of his finger, I felt my neck go cold. My clothes were gone? So cold. Damn, I think I hit a nerve. Adrian was someone I couldn't read. Honestly, for someone as blind as me, I don't know why I was chosen for this transmigration world. Forget Adrian after 5 years, I still couldn't figure out Ethan. Compared to other novels where the female leads were smart down to their hair follicles, I felt like the system had picked the wrong person. Anyway, the system's task was just to find a man to fall in love with. Switching to Adrian should be okay, right? But I didn't dare. Adrian had secret after secret. I always felt like he'd sell me and it'd still help him count the money. Adrian's face came closer. Desire mixed with alcohol, and I held my breath. I asked carefully, why did you kiss me that day? He looked down. I wanted to, so I did. This casual tone made me feel looked down upon. I said seriously, Adrian, do you like me? If he said yes, I'd climb over the wall immediately. After all, I didn't have any earth-shattering grand missions, just a simple little romance task. But after a long while, I saw Adrian's eyes smile as he sat up, his tone carrying that typical wealthy playboy's casual disdain. For real? That would be no fun. I already have someone I like. It's not you. 1,000 arrows through my heart. If you don't like me, why are you flirting with me? Good grief, he really didn't leave any face for me at all. Getting played by these two Cole brothers was just my bad luck. My heart had suffered 2 consecutive blows from love in just one day. The little person in my heart was crying hysterically. I silently thought, "System, please give me a different task. I don't want to fall in love anymore." Ding dong. The system spoke half dead. How did I get such a noisy host? Change tasks? Given your insufficient task points, if you want to switch characters midway, only side character A is left. Me side character A. A supporting female character? System, not even a supporting character, a passerby role that doesn't even deserve a name. Me, what about the task? System, no task. A slacker life that will continue until 100 years later. Though your family will be poor, you'll live safely and happily. I hesitated. Once I completed Victoria's current storyline, I could immediately return to the real world and get $1 million reward. The annoying part was needing to find someone to fall in love with. The side character, a role would require living here until natural death. After thinking it over, I made my decision. Before Adrian left, he gave me a meaningful look. Once the money comes through, I'll let you go. Be good. Actually, I couldn't understand him. I didn't get why he let me go after the kidnapping and taking the money. Head obviously seemed interested in me. But now he was cooperating with Sophia for 100 million, refusing to admit he liked me, acting like a bastard. My head hurt from overthinking, and romance was clearly not for me. What suited me best was slacking off. Me, what if I don't? He licked his lips, smiling dangerously. Disobedient? I'll break your legs. I shivered again. He dared to kidnap people. What wouldn't he dare to do? Seeing that head probably really scared me, he turned his back to me, and after a while his tone softened. Victoria, stay here. As long as you're good, I won't touch you or hurt you. But you don't like me, yet you gave me a kiss. That already hurt me. After Adrian left, I knocked out a servant who came in and escaped. The next day, a news story made headlines. Shocking. Heiress Victoria drunk driving. Car plunges off cliff. Shocking. Heiress Victoria's body never found. Billionaire father gray overnight. Shocking. Cole family illegitimate son Adrian. Enough with the shocking. I'm in a hurry to cut grass for the pigs and don't have time for this. Besides, that was a year ago. Are you just getting online now? The system complained. Who told you to choose such a remote mountain village? Being able to get online at all is lucky. My name was now Joy Porter, a poor rural college student. Last year, I broke my leg and missed enrollment by a year. Today was my official enrollment day. Just as I was about to leave, my mom called me back. Though Mom Porter's eyes were bad, after using the system's remaining points to change my face, voice, and identity, everyone in the village thought I was Joy Porter. Only Mom Porter knew I wasn't her daughter. Joy, I saved some money here. Take it all. I heard college requires a lot of money. Mom Porter stuffed a large stack of crumpled old bills into my hands. I teared up and pretended to accept. Mom, I can work and earn money in college. Keep this money for yourself. When I got to the village entrance to catch the bus, I heard her softly call out. She called, Victoria, take care of your health. My tears immediately started flowing. It seemed like in this world, besides my dad, she was the only one who truly cared about me. My phone buzzed. "Do you need me to pick you up?" A text from Victoria that is the real Joy Porter. When I first found her, I proposed swapping lives, using the last of my points for a pseudo-swap, rather than the system's forced complete exchange. The pseudo-swap had an advantage: we each took on the other's appearance to complete the other's life trajectory. Because it was a pseudo-swap, the mutual exchange existed and the system couldn't determine the actual situation. Joy Porter would still live peacefully as originally destined on the heiress trajectory, without being troubled by romance storylines. The system was impressed by this operation. Good grief, you don't look that smart, but you found a system loophole? That's a bug exploit. Me. Well, there's no rules saying I can't do this, right? System impressive. Joy was obviously excited when she heard my story. Compared to her ordinary life, mine was clearly more attractive. Over this past year, Joy indeed had no interest in romance, focusing entirely on business. When Joy went to my house, she used the excuse of amnesia. And she specifically chose the day Ethan was having his fake ceremony with Sophia. It nearly disgusted them to death. "No need," I texted Joy back. "Let's try to contact each other as little as possible from now on, so Ethan doesn't figure it out." Joy: "Okay. By the way, Victoria, why do I always feel like Adrian looks at me strangely? He hasn't figured anything out, has he? Adrian? That guy looked at dogs with natural affection. I was just being a lovesick fool back then, caught up in the romance storyline and desperate to target someone, so I got flustered by one kiss." "Impossible," I continued typing. Joy didn't know any details about my emotional entanglements with Ethan and Adrian. She claimed amnesia to the outside world, so even a lie detector wouldn't pick up any she really didn't know. So there was no way Adrian could tell she was fake. Everyone would just think Victoria had really lost her memory. "Remember what I warned you about before?" I typed quickly. "About my dad's company. Joy, don't worry. I'll definitely get revenge for you." I smiled bitterly, "Thanks." Joy, don't say that, Victoria. If not for you, I might never have left that mountain village my whole life. My dreams and efforts were all for this moment, and you gave me a chance to achieve my ambitions. I should be thanking you. Don't worry, I'll deal with that bastard and that awful woman. After chatting, I turned off my phone and switched to a new one. The system commented, "I thought you were dumb and clumsy, but you're actually pretty smart." Not smart enough, so I found help. I smiled bitterly. How could my lovesick brain compete with Ethan and Sophia? Someone with no real skills who got the lovesick fool script. The only way to get my dad's money back was to find outside help. After writing for most of the day, I reached Z University. My ordinary days were about to continue, but there was one person I had to watch out for: Adrian. Unfortunately, Joy Porter's college acceptance letter happened to be for Adrian's school. Fortunately, Adrian was a senior this year, and given his habitually lazy lifestyle, he probably wouldn't appear on campus much. Just as I found the dorm building, I ran into an old acquaintance. Sophia. What a coincidence. Because Sophia had parachuted into Ethan's company and was afraid of criticism, Shed bought her way into an MBA program. When enemies meet, their eyes blaze with hatred. Sophia was surrounded by her classmates like a star. I walked alone, carrying a woven bag. As we got close, I bent down and pretended to tie my shoelace. The sound of laughter approached. I suddenly stood up, swinging my woven bag backward. Direct hit. Screaming ensued. Sophia fell to the ground, looking at the stains on her clothes in disbelief. A foul smell spread everywhere. Are you blind? How do you walk? Can't you see you hit someone? I just stood there, grinning. Oh, sorry, I didn't see you. Sophia's face was pale. What? What is this? I directly opened the woven bag and started pulling things out. Oh, this stuff? It's homemade sauce my mom made. It's delicious, want to try some? Sophia dry heaved, her face losing all color. Get away from me. A girl next to Sophia was about to slap the stuff out of my hand. When it came to fighting and causing drama, I was a pro. Just as I prepared for her attack, the low rumble of a sports car sounded, obviously asking us to move. This sound was clearly too flashy. We all turned to look. A Porsche was parked behind us, with a guy in the driver's seat, one arm draped over the window and the other on the steering wheel, leaning back casually as he looked at us. Originally calm and composed, I somehow felt a flutter of panic the moment I met Adrian's eyes. Because Adrian had a short-haired girl in his passenger seat. I suddenly remembered that Adrian had said he liked someone. That must be her. It'd been chasing Ethan for 5 years, so naturally, it had quite a bit of contact with Adrian in daily life. Adrian was an illegitimate son. Though Richard Cole treated his second son pretty well overall, Ethan would always have the upper hand over Adrian. Including bringing Adrian back to the Cole family, even Adrian's name meant he would forever be Ethan's subordinate. To serve and submit to this big brother, the true heir of the Cole family. When I went to see Ethan, Adrian was often going out too. Holding his phone with a frown, looking troubled. Once when he was leaving and ran into me, he casually asked Big Sister, "What kind of flowers do girls like?" I was basic, so I immediately said red roses, obviously. Mainly because I liked red roses. Later, he asked more questions. What kind of sweets do girls like? I shook my head. I just like smelly, spicy stuff, like snail noodles or stinky tofu. He believed me. The last time, he got drunk somewhere and ended up passed out on the road. That Valentine's Day, Id fought with Ethan and head dumped me out of the car halfway. After finding Adrian, I carried him on my back toward home. Seeing it was me, he laughed. "Oh, it's you, Big Sister." I was sweating from carrying him, yeah. Adrian's voice was still pleasant. "You lied to me again." He rambled somewhat incoherently. "She doesn't like lamb kidneys at all." That was indeed something I'd made up. I didn't like them either. Adrian's voice was very faint. "She already has someone she likes." Me, ah? Well, there are plenty of fish in the sea. Adrian's voice got softer. "It's all your fault, Victoria." Whoa, not even calling me Big Sister anymore? Adrian suddenly said, "My girlfriend's gone. How will you compensate me?" I casually made something up. "I'll sell myself to you." After a long while, I thought I heard a barely audible, "Okay, I accept." Later, my relationship with Ethan improved. Once when Ethan and I were eating at a restaurant, we ran into Adrian having dinner with that short-haired girl. Near the end of the meal, the girl suddenly got up and stormed off angrily. Adrian sat there for a while, seeming to think about something, then finally got up and chased after her. So if she could sit in his passenger seat now, They must be together. People around us unconsciously made way. Adrian's car slowly moved forward a few steps, then stopped beside us. Sophia saw it was him and immediately said, "Hello, Adrian." "Help me." Adrian smiled lazily. "How?" Sophia glared at me resentfully. "It's all her fault. She got my clothes dirty and they smell awful. Could you drive me to your brother's house so I can change?" Adrian opened his car door. Just as Sophia was about to get in, Adrian turned his head and whistled at me. "You. Get in." "Me?" Sophia's face changed. "Adrian, what do you mean?" Adrian glanced at her. "You're my brother's girlfriend, not mine. Why would I be obligated to drive you anywhere?" He added, "Oh, I should say, former girlfriend." Sophia's face went white as a sheet. I was quite puzzled. Logically, given their previous shady cooperation, Adrian should help her. But now he had this attitude. I patted the stains on my clothes, trying not to make too much eye contact with him. Those eyes were truly dangerous if you look too long. "I smell really bad. No thanks." Sophia resorted to her old trick, biting her lower lip pitifully. "Adrian, please help me." I looked at Sophia with disgust. "Big sister, can't you see clearly? Adrian's girlfriend is still in the Carice. It appropriate for you to flirt so blatantly? Move, move." I remembered how Sophia used to seduce Ethan and got angry, pushing past the still flirting Sophia with my bag, ready to leave the scene. Footsteps approached. Someone grabbed my arm. I turned around, my heart suddenly racing, my lovesick fool tendencies stirring. My words came out stuttered. "What do you want?" Adrian looked at me as if trying to see through this face to observe the soul beneath. He snorted, "I told you to get in the car." "Didn't you hear?" "I don't want to." "I don't know. You were not close." Still, a spineless and gutless response. Good thing I didn't get some world-saving heroine script that would have been a total disaster. But Adrian stepped forward and snatched my woven bag, pulling me toward the car. After shoving me inside, he said, "Aren't you going to pay for ruining her clothes?" Damn, he was still working with her after all. I was so angry I could bite nails. I pulled out a stack of crumpled bills from my pocket and threw them at him. "Here's your compensation." Of course, I knew the money wasn't enough. Sophia was wearing a Chanel dress. I'd bought one myself. Who knew I'd be unlucky enough to run into Adrian helping her get revenge? His girlfriend was still sitting beside us, smiling at me. Adrian said something to her I couldn't hear, and she got out of the car. What incredible tolerance. Simply amazing. Adrian looked at me through the rear-view mirror. "I think you look a lot like someone I know." Those eyes flashed with something complex and dark. Oh my God. Did this guy have godlike perception? It literally changed into a different person, and he could still sense something was wrong? I laughed dryly. I have a common face. He continued driving. "What's your name?" I glanced at him, then suddenly calmed down. "Joy Porter." Actually, if Adrian figured it out, it wouldn't matter much. My main targets for revenge were still Ethan and Sophia. Adrian wasn't important in my revenge plan. The only thing that bothered me was that kiss. He paused, slowing the car. "What a coincidence. Your names are even similar." I looked at the rearview mirror, lifting my chin with deliberate provocation. "Really? Do we look alike too? Maybe we're long-lost sisters. Haha." He answered softly, "Not alike. She was very pretty, talked a lot, and wasn't very smart. Damn, he was insulting me? But very cute. Every time she stood there talking, it was like she was glowing. Of course. I was like a super bright light bulb existing between Ethan and Sophia. Even I thought I was blindingly bright. Hearing his weird tone, I probed. From your tone, what, you liked her? I saw his fingers gripping the steering wheel curl and relax, as if using a lot of force. But he finally answered no. Okay, got it. Not satisfied with just breaking my heart, huh? Adrian took me to the channel store, but I refused to get out. Honestly, I wasn't planning to really pay up. If Sophia really tried to cause trouble, I wasn't afraid at all. 5 minutes later, Adrian came out carrying 2 bags and handed them to me. This one's for her, the other is for you to change into. Me, I don't need it. Also, why are you helping me? He looked me up and down with an examining gaze. In August, my brother Ethan's fiancée Victoria met with you, right? Even with the car's AC on full blast in hot September weather, my back broke out in cold sweat. This, Adrian. I could be reborn 10 times and still not outplay him. Fortunately, I hadn't classified him as an enemy from the start. Adrian drove into an alley. The pressure and fear had given me during the kidnapping suddenly returned. He slowly tapped his fingers on the steering wheel. His lips parted slightly, each word full of meaning. Victoria, what's your relationship with her? Or is she really Victoria? My scalp tingled. Adrian was terrifyingly smart. Or maybe had been watching Victoria all along. Otherwise, how would he notice me, a complete stranger, today? I felt like my brain wasn't enough. The lovesick fool setting the system gave me couldn't handle overthinking too. Much thinking would cause it to malfunction. I clasped my hands together, my palms sweaty. I asked Adrian, what about you? Why do you keep watching Victoria? She doesn't owe you anything, right? Adrian's eyes showed some unreadable emotion as he said hoarsely and softly, yes. I'm the one who owes her. After Adrian dropped me off at school, on my way back to the dorm, I kept thinking about his last words. You don't need to fear me. Whatever you want to do, I'll help you. I didn't dare trust Adrian's offer of help. This morally ambiguous character was beyond my capabilities. From that one sentence, I vaguely felt had figured something out. Out of nowhere, I asked the system, buddy, are you sure I'm the only player in this world? The system responded half dead. Ding. Question exceeds permission limits. I got angry. You're useless. At the dorm entrance, someone called out to me, Joy! Sitting with Luke in the campus fast food restaurant, he ordered a whole table of food for me, carefully arranging my bowl and chopsticks. He said warmly, Joy, why didn't you tell me in advance? I could have picked you up from the station. I smiled at him. I can't get lost anyway, don't worry. Luke was Joy Porter's neighbor. According to Joy's original storyline, she would end up with Luke, marry him, have children, and live out her life. Before swapping lives, Id asked Joy about it. She said she had no romantic feelings for Luke, just saw him as a brother. But Luke really liked Joy. I could tell. Near the end of the meal, Luke went to buy me a hot milk tea. Joy, I see those other girls like drinking this, so I got you one too. Me, thanks, Luke. He scratched his head with an honest smile. I suddenly felt confused. Could I really end up with someone like Luke? Could I learn to like him? That evening, I got a call from Joy. There was a lot of wind on her end, filling the phone with wind noise. "Where are you calling me from?" I asked, holding my toothbrush and squatting in the bathroom. "Joy on a cable car." After a while, the signal seemed to stabilize. I was afraid Ethan might overhear. He's been following me closely lately. I think he's definitely sensed something's wrong. I spat out my toothpaste foam, then hurry up on your end. Joy's voice scattered in the wind again. K. The night I escaped from Adrian's house, I only did one thing on the road. I contacted my dad and told him everything. My dad wasn't naive either. We decided to set a trap. My dad told Ethan he had cash flow problems and couldn't raise that much money temporarily, so had mortgaged several companies to Ethan instead. Ethan had been coveting those companies for a long time. The companies were worth far more than $500 million by market value. Simply put, after Ethan gained control of the companies, he actually owed us $500 million. Of course, Ethan wouldn't know the real operating conditions and books of those companies. Because Joy had gone back, she continued playing my role as that beautiful fool, while actually using her expertise and abilities to break up the companies piece by piece. What Ethan now owned had unknowingly become shell companies. After Victoria returned, Ethan pretended to break up with Sophia. But he was also secretly observing Victoria. The system said, though you can be heartbreakingly stupid sometimes, being able to become an outside manipulator despite the system's intelligence limitations is pretty impressive. But I could only be relatively clear-headed when I was outside the situation. Once I fell in love, I'd instantly lose my intelligence. So I could only find Joy to swap identities. Because Ethan and Sophia's fake engagement while impersonating me was exposed along with my car crash incident. After Joy arrived at my house, once Ethan confirmed Shed really lost her memory, he actually announced publicly that his true love was still Victoria. He even wanted to hold a new engagement ceremony with Victoria. Joy and I decided that at this engagement ceremony, we'd send Ethan straight to hell. It wasn't really about hatred. I just wanted my money back and to recover the dignity I'd lost over 5 years. The engagement party was next week. During this time, I found every opportunity to cause trouble for Sophia. I spread rumors everywhere that Sophia had been dumped. I practically wanted to use a megaphone to announce it around campus. Finally, Sophia got mad enough to bring a group of people to corner me at the KTV where I worked. I heard, Sophia was grinding her teeth. "You've been spreading rumors that I got dumped by my sugar daddy? And that I can't have children? And that I've had plastic surgery 18 times? I was making it as outrageous as possible. Sophia dropped her act too, so angry her face gained 2 new wrinkles. Joy Porter, what do you think you are? Think having a name similar to the Cole heiress gives you the same fate? A country bumpkin who gave you the courage? I smiled slightly. At least I got half of it right, didn't I? Sophia's expression changed. She approached me, her manicured nails grabbing my collar. What else do you know? After all, the only people who knew about her shady dealings with Ethan were Victoria and Adrian. I wanted the irrational Sophia to become another pawn in indirectly destroying Ethan. Just as I was putting on my mysterious villain smile, the door was kicked open. Several familiar faces appeared in the doorway. Adrian? Sophia seemed really afraid of Adrian. She actually trembled when she saw him. She maintained her fake smile. "Hey, Adrian, what are you doing here?" Adrian ignored her completely, walking past her. He came up to me and looked down. "Did they hurt you?" "Me?" Here we go again, those eyes that looked at dogs with natural affection. Just as I was about to say, nothing had happened yet before you came in to add drama, he probably thought there were too many people around and frowned. Taking my hand, he headed straight outside. Sophia probably couldn't take it anymore. Adrian's dismissiveness was probably the final blow that snapped her last nerve. She gestured to the people shed broad, directly blocking all of us in the room. A string of practiced profanity spilled out. "I'm so fucking sick of this. Adrian, your brother doesn't give a damn about me, and you treat me like air too? You're lovesick, aren't you? Just because someone's named Victoria, you'll protect any piece of trash? This is just a country bumpkin. Fucking hell, when Victoria crashed, you got so sick you vomited blood and almost died, acting like you were madly in love with her. Don't you have a girlfriend? Are you insane? You think I'm afraid of you?" I was shocked. First, by Sophia's extremely high profanity content. Second, by what she said about Adrian. When I faked my death in that car crash, he got so sick he vomited blood and almost died? I couldn't believe it. Maybe he vomited blood from anger about not getting that 100 million as agreed with Sophia? 10 minutes later, all the people Sophia brought were lying on the ground. Adrian said nothing, taking a handkerchief from the skinny guy and carefully wiping each finger clean. Silent but terrifyingly imposing. Sophia cowered in the corner, her earlier arrogance completely gone. Fear and terror filled her eyes as she looked at Adrian. This was my chance. I quickly walked over, call him and see if he'll answer. Sophia dialed Ethan's number with trembling fingers. "The number you have dialed is currently busy," I smiled. "Know why he won't answer?" "Because right now, he's with Victoria buying the latest engagement rings." Sophia's emotions teetered on the edge of complete breakdown. I leaned close to her ear. "The new engagement party is next weekend, at the Seaside Palace Hotel. Remember to attend on time." Seeing the almost crazy look in Sophia's eyes, I was satisfied. The Dogat dog scene I was most looking forward to was coming soon. After Sophia left, I threw my question at Adrian. "How did you know I was here?" Adrian put an unlit cigarette in his mouth, his voice flat and muffled. "A friend saw Sophia drag you into a room. I happened to be nearby." My inner doubts grew, and my guesses became clearer. "You have a girlfriend but still care about other girls, just because my name is Joy Porter? You like meddling this much?" Adrian said absent-mindedly, "Yeah, quite a bit." "Like meddling, huh? You won't give me a single honest answer, will you? Playing mysterious, huh?" I smiled and gave him a thumbs up. Then right in front of him, I answered Luke's call. My voice bright. "Luke, yeah, I'm off work." "Okay, I'll be right down." Under Adrian's gaze, I walked out without looking back. I was gambling. Gambling that Adrian would come down. I didn't walk very fast. When I got in the elevator, I didn't feel anyone following. Was I overthinking? Maybe Adrian was just feeling guilty about Victoria, and that's why he acted this way? I even started thinking it'd been wrong about him recognizing me. Downstairs, Luke was already waiting for me. He waved at me, and I hurried toward him. Seeing the smile on his face actually made me feel sad. Luke was holding a bouquet of roses. "Joy? Want to go see a movie?" Just as I was about to nod, I heard urgent footsteps. I didn't turn around, but took the opportunity to stand on my tiptoes and cup Luke's face. About to kiss him. At such close distance, someone viciously grabbed my arm and yanked me backward. Adrian's furious eyes reflected my face. I tried to break free. Are you sick? Adrian. He laughed angrily. Yeah, just consider me a madman. Probably my impatient expression completely set him off. Right in front of Luke, Adrian pressed the back of my head and pulled me toward him. I felt burning, dry skin roughly and savagely press against my lips. He looked up, his eyes full of provocation and threat as he stared at Luke. What disappointed me was that Luke was actually scared by Adrian's crazy aggression and stepped back. He started to say, "You." Adrian's voice sounded like a low growl from his throat. "Get lost." So Luke actually left. What the hell? Did I have to change targets again? Looking at Adrian with sudden hatred, I bit down hard on his wrist. Until I tasted blood. You recognized me early on? Adrian, yeah. I bit down harder. Let me ask you again after all this drama. Do you like me or not? I felt a hand gently stroking the top of my head. Adrian's eyes were full of my reflection, but he still said, "I don't like you." My nose stung, and I asked again with tears. Don't like me? He looked at me silently for a long time. I heard a barely audible sigh. I like you. Tears immediately fell. I was so wronged I could barely speak. But right after Adrian said, "I like you," he suddenly turned his head sharply. I saw blood slowly seeping between his fingers as he covered his mouth. The moment Adrian collapsed, my mind went blank. What did this mean? Then I saw a short-haired girl run out of Adrian's car parked nearby. His girlfriend. She ran over quickly. I was still standing there in a daze. The girl checked Adrian's condition, then called others to carry him to the car and rushed to the hospital. She seemed like she'd been through this before. The short-haired girl took my hand and led me to sit by the roadside. Then she slowly began to explain. Adrian likes you. She smiled, but I could see the bitterness in that smile. Adrian has a system quest, and his target is me. He has to fall in love with me and can't confess to anyone else, or hell. I interrupted die and lose his mission rewards, right? The short-haired girl looked at me in surprise. You too? I nodded, and I asked her, are you one too? The short-haired girl nodded and continued, Hez never even said he likes me once. He told me he was only with me because of the quest. The short-haired girl and I sat in the hospital hallway. She tucked her hair behind her ear. The night you escaped from his house and had your accident, he went crazy like a madman, having search and rescue teams go down to look for you. I saw him kneeling in the mud in a rainstorm. Like he was possessed, saying, I like you, over and over. Coughing up blood as he repeated it. He almost died that time. Luckily, Adrian's system was advanced. It told him you weren't dead. That's how he survived. The day fake Victoria came back, he could tell immediately she was fake. I thought it was amazing to me. She looked exactly like Victoria. He just looked at her once and was certain she was fake. October 6th, auspicious for marriage, engagement party. The hotel was full of guests, and the Cole family heiress Victoria wore a hand-embroidered gown. She sat in the dressing room. Joy patted her chest, unable to hide her excitement. This is so satisfying. I can already imagine the scene of tearing apart that scumbag. I was powdering her face. Be more composed, okay? Your mouth is stretched to your ear. You're supposed to be the main character today. Joy grabbed my hand, excited. Next time there's another revenge romance plot like this, call me again. I laughed like a rooster. Joy touched my cheek. You look good. In love? She widened her gossipy eyes. Not Luke, right? I smiled and shook my head. Just as we were about to continue chatting, the dressing room door was rudely pushed open. Ethan looked at his watch, somewhat impatiently, saying to me, "Makeup artist? Aren't you done yet?" Joy glared at him. What's the rush? Can't you wait this little bit? Ethan didn't dare get angry. After all, once the engagement party was over, half of the $2 billion dowry Mr. Cole promised would be his. Ethan softened his tone. Victoria, it's fine. Take your time. After Ethan left, Joy asked me, actually, I think you should be the one going out there today. After all this careful planning was for today. I shook my head. No, you should go. Without you, the company situation wouldn't have gone so smoothly. Not to mention the revenge. Someone came in to hurry us again. Joy gave me a reassuring look and walked into the banquet hall. After the host's opening remarks, it was quickly time for Ethan's speech. He took out a ring and knelt on one knee to Joy Victoria. I love Ethan. Fuck you, you bastard. You scumbag. At the banquet hall entrance, a disheveled Sophia was frantically fighting the security guards trying to stop her. You piece of trash. You fucking idiot. Haha. She looked clearly disturbed. In Ethan's shocked gaze, she said in a voice of mutual destruction, when you had Victoria kidnapped, didn't you choose me in the end? Trembling, she cried, why won't you say you love me now? I watched from below with my arms crossed, quite moved. He did not love her, he just loved money and himself more. Ethan actually slapped Sophia in front of everyone, trying to stop her from revealing more truth. Sophia held her face, looking at Ethan in disbelief. Her body shaking violently, she pointed at Ethan's nose and cursed, "You disgusting man. You forgot how that kidnapper scammed you out of $200 million? And then you tried to make Victoria's dad the fall guy for $500 million? The whole place erupted. Ethan's face was dark as he gestured to the security guards. Sophia was finally dragged away. He could still continue kneeling with the ring to Joy Victoria. She's crazy. Everything she said was just delusion, don't believe her. He was so confident because he thought Victoria had really lost her memory and forgotten all his past mistakes and crimes. But he would never know that standing before him was someone who would never be a lovesick fool, the calm and rational Joy Porter. Joy looked at me, then at Ethan, smiling proudly and coldly. Sorry, Ethan. Actually, I have no feelings for you at all. Sometimes looking at you makes me sick. The engagement party might as well be canceled. Ethan was stunned for a long time. Proud as he was, now facing attacks from all sides, he unwillingly chased after her. Grabbing Joy's hand, Victoria, weren't you desperate to marry me? Joy just smiled mockingly. Ethan's face darkened. Are you sure? Your family's companies are still in my hands, you don't want the business anymore? Joy patted his arm. Speaking of which, I should thank you for acquiring those Sunset Industries the Cole family was about to eliminate. But I should remind you that you currently owe the Cole family $500 million. Ethan was thunderstruck. He could no longer hold the ring steady. He seemed to never have imagined that the previously lovesick fool Victoria had truly become a different person. My dad showed no mercy, having police and bank officials arrive on scene. Watching Ethan get handcuffed, I surprisingly felt no emotional reaction. I even felt like those 5 years chasing Ethan had been like a dream. I was a transmigrator named Victoria Cole. Luckily, I had the script of a billionaire heiress. But unfortunately, due to system settings, I was a brainless sweet girl and lovesick fool. I was supposed to find a man in this world to truly fall in love with. But I failed. With my own abilities, I couldn't personally get revenge, but I couldn't swallow being betrayed. So I exploited a system bug to find outside help, sitting back to watch the show and laughing as dogs bit each other. Finally getting revenge on that scumbag Ethan, not only avoiding the loss of $500 million, but actually gaining $500 million. It felt like a dream. System, how about trying a main character script next time? I think you could do it. Me, no thanks. After finishing the last task, I want to go home. Outside the banquet hall, Joy changed into regular clothes. She wore a pink t-shirt, jeans, and a backpack simple and ordinary like the day I first found her. I was surprised. Joy came over and hugged me. Time to wake up from the dream. Here's your life back. Me, we agreed that after you helped me deal with Ethan, I'd trade everything to you. Joy faced the noon sun, smiling brightly. The heiress experience has been enough. I'm not greedy. I learned so much this year. Also, I miss my mom. She touched my face, Victoria. Don't be afraid. Go home. Don't let one Ethan make you reject everyone who loves you. My phone buzzed. It was Adrian's girlfriend calling. She said on the phone, "Hez awake. Do you want to see him?" Adrian had been unconscious for many days. Though he was out of life-threatening danger, his consciousness hadn't returned. I knew that was punishment for transmigrators violating mission requirements. Adrian was probably enduring the worst punishment in another space. I asked with difficulty, "Thank you. Since you told me all this truth, your mission failed too, right?" She tried to sound casual. Failure is failure. I can just start another transmigration mission. I'm an experienced player anyway. I felt my throat tighten. It wasn't as simple as she made it sound. People who entered this world for transmigration missions were, at best, seriously injured and bedridden in reality, or at worst, comatose and vegetative. After she hung up, I rushed to the hospital. Adrian's hospital room was empty. My heart clenched as I rushed to the hallway looking for Adrian. No one around. A strong sense of panic and bewildered helplessness instantly crawled over my entire body. I went back to the room and fumbled for my phone in my bag. Planning to call Adrian's girlfriend to ask where he went, I found her phone was unreachable too. I felt an indescribable dull pain in my chest. Tears fell uncontrollably. Suddenly, there was a creak behind me, followed by the sound of flushing. The bathroom door opened. I turned around, petrified. Adrian leaned against the door frame, drooping his eyelids as he tied the string on his sweatpants. Seeing me, he looked me up and down with a complex expression. Finally walking up to me, he reached out and pinched my cheek, finally willing to switch back? Having a funeral? I'm not dead yet. I buried my head in his chest, wiping my nose and tears all over him. Yeah, right. Some people's hardest part is their mouth, even when they're dying. Adrian laughed, his chest vibrating. He caught my hand and took 2 steps forward. With my back against the wall? What? He pressed against me, leaving me nowhere to go. The hardest part is my mouth? Are you sure? Want to try? I couldn't handle this. As he leaned in to kiss me, I couldn't help asking, why did you kidnap both Sophia and me back then? He flicked my forehead. You're impossibly stupid. Even with your lovesick brain, how could you not see what kind of person Ethan was after 5 years? If I didn't let you see it with your own eyes, how would you give up? He pulled me onto his lap, planning to tell me everything in detail. Sending you home that time was Monkey's fault. He said you howled too long on the road and it scrambled his brain. He was supposed to take you home but took you to the coal house instead. So right after escaping danger, you got caught by Sophia again. Me. Was Monkey really not a spy sent by Ethan and Sophia? When Sophia found me, she wanted me to sleep with you and keep you locked up for a few days. Though it was ridiculous, I had to agree, or she'd send you to even more disgusting people. Adrian suddenly drew out his words, not quite serious. Of course, I wasn't exactly playing a good guy role anyway. As long as I could guarantee your safety, I'd do anything, no matter how underhanded. Halfway through, I suddenly covered his mouth. As if realizing something, you're telling me all this. What are you planning? According to transmigration rules, this stuff can't be discussed. But Adrian pulled down my hand. I've already been punished. Me? Adrian, the system punished me. Transmigration over. 6 months later, Adrian completely disappeared from all our memories and lives. Had broken the rules too many times and was directly erased from this storyline. Everyone forgot him overnight. His system was more advanced than mine, but I later learned his assigned mission was absurdly difficult. He liked me but couldn't say the forbidden word, like to me. Yet somehow, he still needed me to say I like you to him under these impossible circumstances. No wonder, during that kidnapping, he half-jokingly, half-seriously said, "Say you like me, and I'll kill them both for you." My confession of liking him never came. 4 months after Adrian disappeared, I suddenly woke from a dream, remembering Adrian, tears streaming down my face. Remembering that morally ambiguous boy. Remembering the person who'd rather be erased by the system than say, "One, I like you." I also remembered that Head first said he liked me much earlier. Back when I'd just graduated high school, I went to confess to Ethan. He wasn't home and wouldn't answer my calls, so I got drunk and made a scene at his front door. A tall teenager came home from evening study sessions and was startled to find me lying there. Finally, he carried me to his room on his back. His room was much smaller than Ethan's, but clean and tidy, even somewhat sparse. Drunk and clingy, I hugged Adrian's leg and demanded he help me find Ethan. The Adrian had been sitting at his desk doing practice problems, suddenly threw down his pen and lifted me up, then threw me into his bed. Seemingly furious, he even wrapped me up twice in the blanket. Speaking rapidly, gritting his teeth viciously, "Victoria, you're really annoying. I really don't know what I like about you. I didn't hear the rest because I was snoring." The next day when I woke up, I learned Adrian had been hospitalized with a sudden illness during the night. So even then, when Adrian was still a teenager, had already unconsciously expressed his unspeakable feelings. I cried my heart out, telling the system, "Can you make me fail the mission too? I don't want to do missions anymore. I miss him. I like him. I want to go back to the real world to find him. System, even if the mission fails, you won't get any real-world rewards. Me, crying, yes. Ding. The system said smugly, "Congratulations, host. Successfully completed romance target Adrian. Earned 6 million in real-world prize money. Earned 1 chance to restore health." I was stunned. System, you actually successfully completed Adrian's route when you faked your death by driving off the cliff, based on Adrian's reaction. I was even more confused. Then why didn't you tell me the mission was complete? The system finally got urgent, honey. It's because you never truly fell for anyone. You had a romance script, but you were just treating it like a mission to complete. You never genuinely opened your heart. Your true feelings only appeared after Adrian disappeared, and you felt that loss. So, that completed the mission? A white light flashed. I arrived in some kind of consciousness space. The system's voice rang out again. "Welcome back. Restoring real-world memories." My name was Victoria Cole, an ordinary college student. Average family background, even more average personality. When I was little, because my family wanted a second child, a son, my biological father carried me over 10 miles and abandoned me in the mountains. Later, I was adopted, but it wasn't a happy life either. At 16, I almost got assaulted by my stepfather and ran away from home to live on my own. Working alone to save for tuition, getting into college by myself. Solitary, didn't fit in. Never loved anyone, and no one had ever loved me. But I really enjoyed watching a boy from our class play basketball. He was the most conspicuous, type handsome, arrogant, rebellious, and aloof. A dazzling rich kid. I only liked watching him. The closest I ever got to him was during a class-organized mountain climbing trip. He was late as usual, and there were only scattered seats left on the bus. Wearing headphones and a mask, eyes still heavy with sleep, he walked straight toward me. He glanced at me, his deep voice still husky from a hangover. "Anyone sitting here?" I shook my head. I sat tensely the whole trip, not daring to move. Near our destination, there was a landslide and the bus flipped. My leg was crushed, and everyone fell unconscious. Dragging my broken leg, I pulled each person to safety one by one. I completely forgot that one of my pant legs was almost entirely stained red with blood. When I bent down to carry him, he woke up part way. He was hurt worse than Maya, large piece of metal in his abdomen, one eye injured and full of blood. He opened his mouth, hissing in pain. Then, after recovering Victoria, stopped moving around. "Are you trying to get yourself killed?" He actually knew my name? Suddenly, I felt it was all worth it. After dragging the last girl out from under a seat, I straightened up to catch my breath. "Victoria." Along with Adrian's low roar, an explosion sounded, and a heat wave knocked me to the ground. "Welcome, host, to the transmigration world. Complete the romance mission to immediately receive." And now, my soul floated in a hospital room. The white room had my bedside table covered with flowers and letters. "System, your real-world body was severely injured, full body burns, permanent disability in your right leg. Do you want to use the health restoration reward on yourself?" I hesitated. What about Adrian? I remember he was badly hurt, to one eye, damaged, lung punctured, right? Looking at my bandaged body on the bed, if possible. Could Adrian be fully healed instead? The system sighed deeply. "You're both such hopeless romantics." Me? System. What a coincidence. Adrian specifically requested from his system after returning not to let you use the health item on him. He wants you to use it on yourself. Outside, I heard a commotion. My classmates. Some had only minor injuries, others came with casts. A girl shushed them. "Keep it down, don't wake Victoria." A guy with bandages around his head said loudly, "My grandma says people in comas need to hear loud talking and conversation to possibly regain consciousness." The guy ran to my bedside, holding my hand dramatically. "Victoria, my lifesaver. I can never repay you. So, I've decided when you wake up, I'll be your most loyal and devoted boyfriend." The bathroom door banged open. Adrian, also in a hospital gown, slowly walked out. Looking at the bandaged guy, he scoffed, "Sorry." Victoria doesn't like ugly guys. Adrian pulled out a chair and sat down, his gaze sweeping over the bandaged guy's hand. Feeling his life threatened, the bandaged guy immediately pulled back his hand. But he made one last desperate attempt. "How do you know what she likes?" Adrian glanced at me. "I know. She likes guys like me." Though the bandaged guy was annoyed, he had no comeback. If anyone else said this, they'd probably get mocked for being conceited. But this was Adrian. Even though his other eye couldn't see anymore, only Adrian remained in the room. He wiped my face, trimmed my nails, combed my hair. His movements were so practiced, I was amazed. Birds chirped outside. Adrian went to open the curtains, then sat back by the bed. He pinched my cheek softly. "Victoria, the sun's hitting your butt. Time to wake up." A suction force pulled my soul back into my body. I opened my eyes. Adrian was massaging my calves, and as if sensing something, he turned to look. The beautiful boy's eyes flashed with complex, uncontrolled joy. But I could see his right eye had a faint red scar at the corner. The pupil was lifeless as stagnant water. Adrian's right eye was blind. My voice was so hoarse I could barely speak. "Why? Wouldn't you let me use the item on you?" Adrian took a cotton swab and moistened my lips with water. "Compared to you, what's an eye?" He put down the water cup and held me tightly. Then told me word by word, "Victoria, you finally learned how to love someone. From now on, don't think about anything. Don't worry about anything. That's what boyfriends are for." I traced the scar at the corner of his eye, "But your eye?" Adrian said lightly, "I don't make a living with my eyes. Being blind in one eye doesn't affect my handsomeness." I burst out laughing. He said, "From now on, when you make me angry, I can just turn a blind eye." Though it was a dad joke, I laughed until my waist hurt. Ow. My waist hurts. But he got serious. "Where does your waist hurt?" His warm palm pressed against my waist. Though separated by the hospital gown fabric, it still felt burning hot. He used his index and middle fingers together, slowly pressing upward. "Here? Or somewhere else? Does it hurt inside? I'll call the doctor." I grabbed his hand. "Just sore from laughing, don't. Don't take advantage." Adrian finally realized. He snorted, and with one arm pulled me lightly into his lap. His palm returned to the small of my back, and my breathing hitched. Adrian chuckled low. "This is what you call taking advantage."